Hello, my friend. Teresa coming to you live on Friday for a little heart-to-heart conversation. I'm here with my baby girl, Ari's over here to give us some love, give us some support. Say hi if you're here, with me live, if you're on the recording. Type in and say hello. Any questions, comments you have as we go along. Today, darling, we are talking about if you are feeling frustrated, if you're trying to get your partner to change, if you're feeling like, are you wondering maybe, like, do you feel like you're being too controlling? I can totally relate to that. I learned at a very deep level about why that does not work. Do you notice when we're trying to control, when we're trying to make our partners somehow, some way, some shape, some form be different than how they're being, and we're trying to be in control and be the one to try and fix it and change them? Do you notice that that just doesn't really work? I've never seen that work in my experience and in all the women that I've been working with over these past bunch of years. It really backfires. So type in if this is resonating with you, if you can relate, and say hi if you're here. So what is the problem when we're not happy with something our partner's doing, and so we are trying to somehow get them to be different? Maybe we're asking, maybe we're in a constructive way or a not so constructive way, but it's not working. And so why does this backfire when we're trying to make other people be different, and we're kind of falling into that mode of really trying to control the situation? Is we just really don't have control over other people. Would you agree? Type in if this is landing with you. But and nobody likes that. I know I talk about this in the trainings that I do, is that we're all responsible for ourselves, and nobody likes that when we feel like other people are needing us to be different or wanting us to be different or trying to control us. It doesn't feel good. And when we're trying to make other people be different, then it makes us feel frustrated, and it creates resentment on both ends. And so it just makes things worse when we're trying to control. And it maybe seems counterintuitive, but what I want to invite you to do today is just take a breath. And would you be willing just for now to just stop? Let's just stop. Let people be however they're being just for now. That's, again, not to say that we should be accepting unacceptable behavior, that there aren't things that would need to change in order for us to, want to stay in this relationship. But just for now, that's not where our power lies. It's not about making other people be different. We can't do that, and it's not helping, right? So what do we got to do instead is we got to get our attention back on ourselves. And I know one of the things, like when I was married to my husband at the time, I was struggling with alcohol. I learned on a very deep level about this idea of control. And trust me, like how many times, like it just, like, especially in a situation where there's substance abuse involved, like it took me a long time to really come to terms with the fact that I just really don't have control. It's not within my power to fix or change or control anybody else. And maybe your situation's different, but I think it's kind of, it's the same thing. It's like when we're trying to control other people, it's like, whatever the situation is, we just don't have control over that. And so I had to really examine, what is it that's driving that need in me to want to try and control this and fix this? Yeah, of course I care about this person. I love this person. I don't want to see them in trouble, doing something that's not good for them. But aside from that, it's like I had to really get honest with myself about what is it in me. And I would venture to say, and I see this a lot in the clients that I work with and everybody that I see, is that when we have that real need to control and have it be different than it's being, and they're just sort of that, it's almost like a desperate quality about it, then it's stuff in us that's getting triggered, and we all have our stuff. You know, it's our old childhood patterns. Either it comes down to usually two things. Either we're afraid of we're going to be abandoned, or there's that thing about just I'm needing your love and approval because I don't know how to give it to me. You know, we're just kind of looking. We talked about that last week. That, you know, that was my big learning. That was my big awareness. And so that, you know, I realized like that, that was what was driving my whole need to feel so, you know, it was why it was so scary. It's really fear. Underneath that need to control is really just fear. It just really all boils down to that. You know, what would happen if I can't change you and fix you and make this be different? What is that? You know, why is it so scary to me? It means, well, then I'm going to be abandoned. I'm going to be alone, or I'm using you for my source of security, of love and approval. And if you go down, if you go away, if this doesn't work, then I'm scared, and I'm, you know, I'm not getting what I need to be okay. And so, you know, bringing it really onto a deeper level is when we are feeling that real strong need to control, it's driven by fear. And so if you're willing to look within and start to ask yourself, wow, you know, what is it? What is it in me? What's my pattern? You know, why is it so scary for me to not be in control in this situation? And how can I then, we talked all about this last week, is that how can I take my attention off of you and bring it back to me? And how can I start to learn how to be more resourced from within myself, right? So type in if this is landing with you at all, if this is resonating. And so the other thing that I wanted to share with you today is then, so what can we do instead, right? What can we do instead of trying to just keep trying to be in, you know, control this other person? And you know, maybe that then looks like nagging or having the same old arguments over and over again all the time, or just us feeling more and more and more disconnected, more and more resentful and frustrated, and we're just kind of digging ourselves into a hole. So my invitation for you right now is, would you please just be willing to just stop just for now? And I'll tell you, even just by making that one, I would say it's one small shift. It's really not a small shift. It's a big shift in our mindset and our focus. But I've had clients, even just in our first session, just by doing that one thing, this is often where I have you start, is just for now. Take a breath. Would you just stop trying to make him or your partner be different than how they're being? And just by doing that, it automatically interrupts that dance, that negative dynamic that's happening, because people feel that when you're unhappy with them and you're sort of spouting your energy of disapproval all around them, it doesn't feel good. And so when we take a step back like this, can we just step back and you know, just get the focus back on ourselves and on our own self-care. People feel that. It's like, oh, she's showing up. She seems happier. She seems like she's not all on my case all the time. Then that alone can be enough to, even if you're not saying anything different or doing anything differently, it's kind of an energy thing. People can feel that. It's like, oh, okay, she's off. She's kind of off. You know, seems happier. She's sort of off my back, or whatever it is. You know, people can kind of feel that energetically. And so just by making that one shift can automatically really start to, you know, interrupt that negative dynamic and start to improve things. So the other thing that I want to say about that, though, is that, you know, we don't have control, but we do have a lot of power to influence. So by us doing that, by us getting that focus back on ourselves and stop trying to put our power where it's not, which is not trying to make other people be different, is taking responsibility for ourselves And how do I want to show up for myself? I know I said this last time. It's like I may not like the situation right now, but I can like myself in it, and I can take care of myself in it. And so there's our bottom line question again. What do I need to do today to just take care of myself? What do I need to do right now to take care of myself? And so, and just understanding, we and it took me a long time to understand this idea of responsibility, and that guess what, that other person is not my responsibility. How they think, how they feel, it's not within my power to control that or change that. It's not my job to fix or change or control anybody else. It's my job to take care of me. And so, that was a big awareness that it took me a long time to kind of just respect what, those kind of boundaries. It's like I think I see that a lot of times too with my clients. It's just that that's another pattern. It's just feeling like we need to be responsible, right? A lot of times we're overly responsible for other people, and again. That's not where our power lies, and we don't have control over that. And that it really, the best thing that we can do is allow people the dignity to make their own choices, even if from where we sit it doesn't look like they're making good choices. That's for them. It's like when I was married, my husband, I felt like if I could have jumped into his skin and lived his life for him and made his choices for him, I would have done it. Thank goodness, like I have my own body and you have your own body, and I finally learned where do I end and where do you begin, and what's my responsibility and what's not. And my responsibility is me and how I feel, and choosing how do I want to respond in this situation, getting the focus back on myself. Where do I need to come in better, right relationship with me? And so that I'm not feeling this need to be controlling you all the time, coming from that place of fear, of insecurity. So type in and let me know if this is landing for you at all. But that's my suggestion for us today is if you feel like you are just really frustrated, trying to get your partner to change, just to know that it doesn't work that way. And we've just got to take a breath. We've got to step back. We've got to get the focus back on ourselves, focus on self-care. And then, yes, it involves up-leveling our communication skills, having good boundaries, having the ability to communicate and ask for what we need. But this is where it starts. So my invitation for you today is just for now, would you be willing to just stop trying to make that other person be different than how they're being, and let's just get the attention back on ourselves and just look at, am I being too controlling? Am I creating frustration by trying to control things I don't have control over? That's my definition of frustration, is trying to control things we don't have control over. So let's get our power back and focus on what do we do have control over. Well, I have control over how do I want to choose to take care of myself right now in this situation. And I will also invite you, if you want some more support, I'm going to drop a link into the comments when we're done here. If you would like to have a complimentary relationship clarity session, I still have a few spaces left coming up where we can just get on a private Zoom call, 30 minutes, and look at what are the challenges you're experiencing, where do you feel like you're getting stuck, get really clear on what you do need to be happy. And I'll make some recommendations for you as far as what I see are the most important things that you need to focus on to be able to move ahead and get the clarity you need about your relationship. So go ahead and pop a link in. Go ahead and click that link if you want to have a chance to speak with me personally. I'd be happy to talk with you and see how I can be of support. And there's no obligation if after our conversation, if you feel like you want more support and I feel like I can help you, we can talk about what it might look like to do some more work together. But my goal really is to just offer you some extra support and help you get clear on where you need to be putting your focus right now. But for today, it's a good place to start. Is like, let's stop focusing on trying to make that other person be different and get the attention back on ourselves. Maybe looking a little deeper. What is it? What is it in me that's driving this need to control? And I'll tell you, it's fear. It's usually fear and stuff in us that's getting triggered. So click that link if you want some more support in getting it figured out. I hope this was helpful. Give it a thumbs up today if it was helpful for you. I'm sending you lots of love, and find one thing. If you want to type in, share with us, what's one thing you can do for yourself today or this weekend to just make yourself happy? What can I do that's just something that's just going to make me feel good and happy? That's always a good place to start. Don't underestimate the power of just doing something to make yourself feel good. That shifts the energy, shifts the whole energy. All right, my darlings, lots of love, and I will see you soon. Mwah. Bye for now.